Welcome back to another letter to the editor. I feel like we've done nothing but make fun of content creators' videos over the past few episodes, but I can't help but laugh because at least Saturday Night Live is meant to be laughed at.
Distance will be measured in inches, feet, yard, and miles.
Hilarious, right? That's funny. I don't watch much SNL, and I don't think it's very funny these days, but that is a funny episode. But the question is, why does the U.S. not use the metric system? You know, the U.S. at our founding, we were best friends. We were allies with France. France used the metric system. Well, in 1793, Thomas Jefferson, one of the Enlightenment scholar politicians, did send a famous scientist, Dombey, to France, who obtained a standard kilometer, standard meter, I should say, and also a standard weight. So Dombey had a standard length, standard weight coming back to the U.S., and as the ship was transiting the Caribbean, the ship was seized by British pirates. Dombey was imprisoned, and the metric units of measure, the standards, were basically taken by the pirates. So in frustration, Thomas Jefferson decided just to continue using the imperial system, which we had done as a British colony, because we had no standard measure to create the metric system. So fast forward 80 years, and U.S. Congress, Senate passed a law that made the metric system optional and allowed it to be used as an official unit of measure, but did not make it the official unit of measure. So in 1866, we went from the imperial system only to both the imperial and metric as official U.S. government units of measure. And then for 90 years later, and in the 1970s, the federal government launched a pilot program to switch over from imperial to metric. And in fact, there's a 60-mile stretch of Arizona road today, highway, that still uses kilometers on the speed signs. So, likened to say, we started off in 1793, hit a roadblock, kept imperial. We got to 1866, we made some inroads, but we never really adopted metric system. And in the 1970s, we tried it again, which again was an abysmal failure. So why do we use the imperial system even though it's so darn complicated? Chains, roods, feet, yards, miles. Because we've done it that way since the founding of the country and before the founding of the country, and that's how we're going to continue doing it today, because it's just too much work to switch to the metric, even though metric is so much easier to convert because everything is base 10, centimeters, millimeters, kilometers, whatever. So what do you think? You know, now that the U.S. survey foot is basically gone in the new datum coming out from NGS, do you think we should switch to meters and just be done entirely? Or do you think we should go to the international survey foot and just accept that as good enough?